Welcome to today's video. Today we want to talk a little bit about what to do if you are feeling in an environment where the consciousness is so different than yours. What if you have been on a journey and you started to really look deeply into your patterning, your behavior, your emotional states, and you really started to work on yourself, but you keep being confronted with unconsciousness. You keep being confronted with people who may not understand what you have come to understand. And now there is no right or wrong in this. It's just about understanding a little bit more about this process, right? About this deep inner journey. And so it's so important to actually really go into this because I don't want you to feel like the lone wolf or the black sheep or now I've been on this journey but no one gets what I'm saying. It's very important for me that you understand this one thing, maybe two things. Let's see what we come up and total. But one thing is very close to me, and I really want to share this with you, okay? Hey, if we are meeting the first time, hello, my name is Patricia. I'm a life coach, and yeah, what are we doing here, right? We talk a lot about going deep. We talk a lot about doing the inner work, getting clear with who we are, going back to your essence, learning to move yourself from a pure place, a place that is actually not so much about how you got conditioned or how you got programmed. Now, this is not in any ways said in a negative sense. It's rather a, this happened and I can see it. So now what can I do with that? How can I move into a place where I feel home? I feel good about myself. Okay, this is the aim, what we are trying to do here. All right, and so if you like this kind of content, if you like this kind of style, then hit the subscribe button down below and give it a thumbs up. And hey, if you feel sharing anything during this video, please do so, because you know we are here to learn from each other, and it's so powerful when we know that out there is someone who feels exactly the same than we do. So don't underestimate your journey. It helps a lot to others. All right, so with this said, let's dive into today's video. First of all, this is about learning to dance more in the environment you are. It's about not being too much attached on what is out there. It's about I'm observing things. It's about, hey, I'm looking what I feel, I'm taking it, but I'm not identifying it, or I'm not identifying myself with it, because ultimately that will probably cause me some kind of stress. Now, if you have been in this field for quite some time, and if you have learned more about your emotions, about how to regulate them, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You come in a room, the room is maybe super hyper, and you are like, whoa, this is kind of intense. And you kind of feel like they don't see that, they don't feel that. People are just in there and they have their own consciousness and they cannot see beyond that. And you see the understanding that this is also not always the path of everybody is so important. It's about giving yourself some peace, giving yourself some space to feel it, but not to identify yourself with it, not to attach yourself. There is also one more thing that is so crucial to me, you know, when I'm talking about consciousness and when I'm talking about getting back to you, getting back here, getting back to your heart, people are like, okay, I'm often doing this while I meditate, right? And so I do too. This is the way how I practice my consciousness to expand. And how often have you actually been bothered by some kind of, I don't know, gardening person who was like, and then it started like cutting the grass outside, or like blowing the leaves aside the street or something like this, and you were in the middle of your meditation all in peace, and then this thing starts. It's exactly the same with people, or when you're at the train station, when you're in a meeting, when you're working. I come to a conclusion that you can stand quite close and not identify yourself with what is happening. Rather, you actually dance with it. And it takes time to understand how that feels for you, how that may look for you, what you need to give yourself comfort to actually really calm yourself and to just observe it, but don't be it, you know? For example, if you have a tendency to drama, for example, maybe that was one of your traits, okay? Maybe you're quite involved in drama and gossiping or complaining and all of that. So imagine you're quite at peace at home when things look easy, okay? What you need to learn is about what happens when you can close the window. What happens when you're in the middle of something? What happens then? This is crucial to get back to you. It is crucial to return home while in the outside world everything is blowing, you know? It's not on you to fix that, but it's on you to fix this here. And by fixing, I don't mean like I need to problem solve, but I mean by check out first what is here. Don't check in to the drama and give attention there. You see, as soon as you start to give actually attention to the drama space, to the gossip, you're part of that kind of energy. You're part of that consciousness. You're taking part of it. You're making it bigger. But if you're allowing that energy to just flow through you, you can feel it, you know. You will learn that it doesn't bother you anymore. You will learn how to stand there in that energy, recognizing it, observing it, letting it go again. It's not about I'm taking it and then I'm attaching myself to it. It's about I'm looking at it, I see it, and then I'm just letting it go again. I'm doing the dance, you know? There is one important thing I do want to say here. This is not about staying in a situation where you feel abuse. This is not about hey, I'm getting emotionally abused, physically abused, or whatsoever, and I'm staying in it because, you know, I said so, or because that's what I need to go through. No, those are extreme situations where I would highly recommend to remove yourself, getting some other help so that you are actually able to navigate through those kind of situations. I'm not talking about toxic connections to keep up with, okay? So very important key point. Most of them, though, are simply annoying to you, are simply draining to you, are simply doesn't feel that awesome, you know, and we try to kind of like get the right turn to move away. With time you will see that you cannot always remove yourself, and you have to be able to stay in the consciousness, to dance in that, realizing you are not that, right? You don't need to be part of, or you don't need to be part of that consciousness. You can actually just observe it, feel it, and take the exit 10 minutes later, half an hour later, and go home, right? You don't have to go that close. So just to get back, first, understand what is it for a situation. Is it a toxic one? Is it one that that is abusing you in any sort? I highly recommend then to remove yourself from the situation. Second, and most of the time it is second, are you just irritated? Do you feel some kind of, it's bothering you, makes you nervous? You kind of feel like if you're staying too long there, you become that. You're getting inserted into the situation. You start to really feel how they feel. You start to be more complaining, more gossiping, more negative, and that energy gets a hook on you, and that's why you're annoyed. Is because you kind of end up to be in that circle. Learn to observe it more, learn to stay more grounded, learn to stay more centered, start to meditate more, start to be more conscious, and to understand that just because you hear all of this, you don't have to be part of it. You need to learn how to be a bit more distant, maybe, right? Be more distant. Learn to view things differently. Learn to see it is here. I can feel it, but I am not it. I am not that energy. I am not that consciousness. But I can very much stand here, feel safe, feel protected, and be okay, right? I hope this video has helped you. Let me know in the comment section of what came up to you. Share how you are feeling when you start to practice this a little bit different than you may have. And share with us how this actually has impacted you, okay? And if you enjoyed this video, this content, give it a thumbs up, and I see you next time. Bye-bye.